We are on day 97 of going through my journal. The quote for today says, is that right? Yeah. You belong among the wildflowers. You belong somewhere you feel free. And then it says, where do you feel free? And what makes you feel free? So if you've followed along, just pause the video and think about how you feel about this question, and I will read you what I wrote. So I said, I guess I feel the most free when I'm by myself, locked away in a place where I feel comfortable and safe, but I don't know. Maybe I'm equating comfort with freedom, or maybe that's what freedom means to me, safety and comfort. Unfortunately, I feel like, oh, interesting. Okay, I said, unfortunately, I feel like other people detract from my freedom. It's not that they make me feel unsafe most of the time, but I suppose they make me feel uncomfortable. The times that I felt the least amount of freedom were either when I was in a relationship that I didn't want to be in, or during the times that I didn't have a place to stay where I felt completely comfortable. I'll go ahead and finish this before I give my thoughts because I may cover it down here. So I said, in the relationships, I felt trapped and unhappy and anxious. One of the best feelings I ever had was breaking up with one of the guys I'd been unhappy with for years. So yeah, like that was a situation where, and this is an issue that I would run into with guys, like I felt like I would just never have a good long-term relationship because it would get stagnant for me, and then I didn't really have a good reason to break it off. Like there was lots of instances where the guy had not done anything like outwardly wrong. Like they hadn't abused me, they hadn't cheated on me, but I just felt like the relationship had run its course, and like I knew that this wasn't the person that I wanted to spend the rest of my life with, but I didn't like have a good reason to break up, and I didn't want to hurt their feelings, and so I would stay in relationships too long just being unhappy and scared to break it off, and I didn't like that feeling. I felt like I didn't have freedom, which it was all on me. Like I should have just communicated better and been more honest, but at that time I wasn't good at communicating, and I didn't like to upset people, and I didn't like to have uncomfortable situations, and so yeah, I feel like I'm better now. I feel like I would be more open now. But yeah, back in my 20s and stuff, and definitely in high school, like, yeah. But anyway, this one particular relationship, and that was one where we moved in together, and I didn't have like a place to go. I mean, I could have gotten another apartment and everything, but it would have just been a time. You know, it would have, I was kind of like weighing, you know, like, well, things are somewhat comfortable. Like, I know I'm not happy, but will it be better if I break up, or will it not? And so that was kind of like, I was weighing on that for honestly a couple of years until I finally broke it off. And there was times where it got better, and then it would kind of ebb and flow. And so, you know, I would feel like breaking it off, and then things would be good, and then it would just kind of come and go, probably with my hormone cycle. But anyway, the actual breakup was scary and stressful. Yeah, like when it happened, it just kind of like came out of nowhere, because yeah, it was just kind of like one night the guy finally like felt, I guess I tried to hold in the discomfort and the unhappiness, and it just got to the point where it was so much that I wasn't good at masking it. And so the guy finally like said something and was like, what's the deal? And then I just sat there. I just remember sitting there on the bed and just being like terrified, and like going back and forth in my head of like, should I tell him how I feel, Or should I just be like, oh no, everything's fine? And then it just came out and I was so scared. And I was just like, you know, I don't know. I just kind of feel like maybe this isn't working and that like maybe we'd be better as friends. And it was so uncomfortable and awkward for a short amount of time. Like, thankfully with this guy, he wasn't one of those types that's like, he's one of the types that's like, okay, if you're unhappy and you're not into me, I don't want to, you know, what can I do? You know, there's nothing he could do to change that. So he just kind of was like, I mean, he wasn't like okay with it, but he didn't like give me a really hard time about it. Like, I was kind of a little bit nervous of that, or the awkwardness, but it turned out to be okay in the end. And so after like I finally had all of this out, all of this that I've been holding in for like a couple of years, like it just felt so amazing. Like I just felt free. And like I said, like there's nothing like wrong with this guy. Like there was nothing like outwardly super wrong with him. It was just not for me personally. And yeah. And so after that, I was terrified to like even get in another relationship because I didn't want to get myself in that situation. And I said, I'd love to find a partner that brought me both security and comfort. I think they're probably out there, but at this point, I'm not willing to risk that freedom that I currently have. But maybe someday it'll be worth it. So yeah. I mean, there's probably a lot of different ways people could answer this because I think it's very, I mean, a lot of this stuff is really subjective, but I think what personally makes you feel free. I think a lot of people would say probably money, like having financial stability. And like I've mentioned in previous ones, like at least for now, I feel like I'm okay on that. I'm not making like a ton of money, but I make enough to get by, and I'm in a place to where like I feel pretty free financially right now. I could be saving more for retirement and things like that, but so I may be making a mistake in terms of that, but I feel like I'm one of those that would work most of my life. I don't feel like I'm the type that would settle at some point and just be happy, like being totally retired. So I don't know. But yeah, I think this is for me, like I think for most people, financial would probably be the first thing they would say. But since I feel like I have pretty decent financial stability, it's other things. It's just, you know, having comfort and things like that. So anyway, that's what I have for this one. Wait, did I skip a day? No. Okay, I guess that's day 97. I will be back tomorrow with day 98.